Recently, I've been struggling in my trading journey because I've been praying wrong, to be honest, as I've been sort of praying for a miracle without making that change. And you need to realize that God makes these laws for a predictable future. And what basically that is saying is God has laws, let's say gravity. If, say, you're a Christian or your faith or your belief, whatever it is, gravity doesn't matter to that. If you jump off that building, you are going to fall. And if I'm praying for a miracle, why why would God randomly do a miracle that only provides once? Instead of, if I live my life to the laws that God has made, then I will have a predictable future of providing for the things that I want. So let's say I'm praying for muscle in the gym. If I'm praying for muscle but yet I fail and I'm being lazy and I'm not going to the gym, not doing them things, I'm not correlating with the law of being productive, being strong, being courageous, and going to the gym and doing these things, and not being slothful and lazy, which in a result I will fall to that law which God has set. Because prayer wasn't made for that. Prayer was made, yes, it is for miracles in some sense, but prayer is to get as close and intimate with God as you possibly can. So try not to try not to pray for miracles in your life when you're not making that change. What you need to do is correlate and be aligned with God's law for the future that you want. So doing the things that will predict my future by, let's say, backtesting every day, making sure I'm journaling every trade, and going to the gym, not being lazy, eating healthy, doing all these things which is aligned with the future that I want, instead of doing the opposite, then praying for a miracle to happen when a miracle will only provide once, whereas being correlated with God's laws, doing the laws, will get the future that I want and provide for a lifetime. And it's not to push God to the side and say, oh, I don't need you then for my prayer. No, prayer will help you get through them things. Prayer will help you do them things, help to see what it is you need to do in order to gain the future that you want. So yeah, I've been struggling with it a lot because, to be honest, this past like 2 months I have been quite lazy, and been if I've made an excuse, and say if I want to go to the gym, I'll make an excuse sometimes and I'll fail to go, and then that leads to, it just spirals into other things of me being lazy and doing all these things, and then I'll wonder why am I not progressing as fast as I should be. Whereas if I change that, I know change will happen, because that is the way life is. The more you put in, the more you get out. You reap what you sow. God, like Paul said, reap what you sow. Exactly that. You need to start doing what that future you, just imagine the future you that is successful and doing all this stuff. Be exactly like that person so that you become that person, instead of doing the opposite and then praying to magically, miraculously become that person, because it doesn't work like that. God's law does not work like that. So yeah, I hope that what I'm struggling with and what I've figured out from struggling, that it can help you also realize that you need to align with that version of yourself, with aligning with God's law, the way the world works, the way He's programmed it to work. You need to align yourself with that to become and program what you want, because you're in the image of God. He created us so that we can create our future with Him, as He He guides the boat, but you do the rowing. You create what you want, put the work in, and He will get you to that point. So yeah, do it with God. Don't push Him to the side, and do it with God's law. I hope it helps.